Okay. How about now? How about now? How about now? If not, then... Okay, I also have the live stream set up on my phone, and it looks like you guys can now hear me. Okay, that's great. That is really great. Okay, so, yes, welcome, everybody, to the 2020 New Year's live stream. Happy New Year, 2020. It's also exciting for me because in 12 days I'm going to be turning 19 years old, so hooray for me. Alright, I have quite a bit of stuff that I actually want to work on with, in this live stream, I mean. So, yes. This will be really exciting. I can't wait. And... yes. All right. So, now let me just, well, get started. I have a few things in mind for what I want to do for the stream, and so let's get it started. Shoot. Hold on. All right. No, this isn't what I want. Okay. This will work. This one will work. Okay. Terza Rose. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Now. And before you ask, yes, I do have a Pinterest account, but I don't use it to post anything. I just use it to, like, get some stuff that I need for inspiration or whatnot. All right. Yeah, hello, Starlight. We love the Friendship AU games speed paint. I completely butchered saying that. Yes, I do plan on doing that in the future, so please, stay tuned. It's actually pronounced differently, but I think it can be called better. Oh, either. I'm so sorry. I think I have dyslexia or something. I cannot read right. Alright. Now to the desktop. Open with paints. Oh, this is also a piece by, Natrix. She's actually inspired me to do quite a bit of my arts. She's really, really good. You should go check her out. I mean, I'm not subscribed to her because some of the content isn't really content that I like, but I mean, this is supposed to be a Minecraft Blaze redesign, and it's really neat. So, yeah, this is what that is. I don't know where to this screenshot. And this, well, this is just like a shulker. I just literally took this from a screenshot. I mean, I'm just using it for the outfit, so, yeah. Alright. Now, do you like My Little Pony? Yes, I do. Strangely enough, I have not seen the newest season yet. Like, nothing on season 9. Even though I have been... I mean, I can't be living under a rock my whole life. I mean, I have seen what kind of happens, and I did kind of get spoiled for it, but... I mean, yeah, so... Until I actually, like, watch it, I'm not really gonna get a clear picture on what's actually happening, but yeah. It felt like saying goodbye to an old friend watching the finale. Yeah. I mean, there was one thing I know about the finale. It's that... I mean, it does a jump cut to the future where everyone's all grown up and stuff. I mean, for what I do for my AU, I'm obviously not going to have that jump cut. At least, not for a long, long time. I don't think. But, yes. So, yeah. Ah, shoot, why does this keep happening? Actually, I mean, I'm gonna be looking up on my phone anyway. I'm sorry, I'm just talking to myself, thinking out loud. I do that sometimes. Now, this is the original Blaze. If you aren't familiar with Minecraft, that's the original Blaze. Alright. I think we're ready. We're ready to get started. So, let's get it on. And also, 10 watchers. Wow. The last 2 live stream I've done, even the premieres that I've done, I've never gotten this many followers. Or not followers, viewers. Viewers. Thank you all so much. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. Alright. Now, let's get started. But first, let's set the mood with some background stuff. Alright, just give me a sec. Oh yeah, see right there, that picture right there, that thumbnail right there, that's, those are all the main 6 with their older looks. And, that pink unicorn, that's Luster Dawn, I know that much. And that's supposed to be Twilight Student or something. That's literally all I know. But, yeah. Alright. Also, this person who I'm looking at is called, Scribbler Productions. She's she's really good about making these videos. Or she's really great at them. She does, like, as you can see, she's a fanfic reader. And she does comic dubs. And she's really good at them. So yeah, feel free to check her out after the stream is over. But for what I'm doing right now is that I'm going to have you guys, or I'm going to put on my favorite, what has to be my favorites, I should say, Grimdark, My Little Pony story, and I mean, it has gotten me inspired to do something like it, but with everything that's been happening, I don't know if I'm actually going to, so yeah. But I'm still gonna play it for you guys, if I can find it. If I can find it. I think I passed it, actually. Hold on. I think I passed it. No, I don't think I did, actually. It's somewhere in here. Hold on. Did I pass it? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to search for it. MLP. Alright, here it is.
Have you ever seen a rug?
Stupid ads. I'm streaming here. I don't have time for ads.
And yet, hey you. Yes, you watching this video.
All right. Now we're starting.
Tales. Red.
Oh, whoa. Hold on. I just looked at the live chat. Season 9 is a ride. Hoo boy. Hi, I'm your biggest fan of your videos. Aw, thank you, Kairanati Jurek. Or however your name is pronounced. So what are you gonna draw? You'll see. Happy New Year. Thanks again, Kairanati Jurek. I'm from Brazil. Oh, well, greetings from America. Hello, everyone. Ads are evil. Thank you, Spiny Boy Nation. Thank you. Ads are evil. Thank you, Spiny Boy Nation. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Now, let's get started. Let me just turn this up a little more so you all can hear it. Alright, here we go.
After years of friendship, after years of work and fun along the way, the Cutie Mark Crusaders finally discovered their true destinies: to help ponies get their cutie marks. Yet the marks on their flanks symbolized that they would forever be friends. They would never fall apart. Even after fights they had, they would always come back to each other. Even after spending the day without each other, they would always come running back. They felt an ache, an aching pain, something in their heads that told them, whispered to them, to stay together. They did, having many good laughs and many good times, helping others and helping each other. But when they were apart, they felt sick. They felt that pain return, and the longer they were apart, the stronger it became. The more their legs felt weak, and the more their heads felt heavy. They spent more and more time together as they knew about the pains. But at night, slumbering in their beds, the fillies would become afraid. They would whisper in their minds to each other. Scootaloo would ask for her only true family to return, the ones who were like sisters to her. Just the same for them all. They felt like sisters, like a family.
I miss you guys.
I know, Scootaloo. Do you ever get that feeling?
What feeling? Are you talking about the pains? You feel them too?
Whenever we're apart.
It just doesn't make sense, y'all. I felt them after getting our cutie marks. The pain is worse. It's bad. I'm farther away from both of you. It's real bad. Applejack gave me medication for the pain, but it's not helping.
We do this every night. We'll see each other in the morning. Just go to the clubhouse right away.
Good night. See you soon.
But soon, Apple Bloom's pain worsened until she couldn't stay away anymore. She ran through the darkness, her vision blurred and her legs burning. She didn't have to look to see where she was going. She could sense Sweetie Belle's presence as she neared Carousel Boutique. Sweetie Belle woke in a start, sitting up and knowing Apple Bloom was near. She felt her get closer and closer in every second, and the pain in her joints became lesser. She hopped out of her bed to get to the door to greet her midnight guest. She opened the door before Apple Bloom even knocked on it, and gasped when she saw her friend. Apple Bloom was missing her usual bright bow, her hair messy and tangled. Pouring from her eyes and mouth were not tears and saliva, but blood. Her sunset orange eyes had lost their sparkle, had reddened from the stress and pain she had endured. Her breaths were ragged and heavy. Sweetie grabbed her and took her inside, putting a white hoof around her friend.
What happened?
Instead of speaking out loud, Apple Bloom spoke through her mind directly to Sweetie Belle, shutting off her conversation from Scootaloo so as not to disturb her in her sleep.
The pain was too much. It's gotten worse.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders spent more and more time together. They never questioned the mind link, sometimes just huddling together in their clubhouse to relieve themselves from the pain. But after many weeks, Applejack made Apple Bloom come with her on an apple delivery. Apple Bloom refused to go. Applejack put her in the cart, and Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle watched their friend get farther and farther away, tears streaming down her face as she yelled for Applejack to stop.
No more whining, you hear?
The two fillies felt an ache in their stomachs and their legs growing weak as Apple Bloom and Applejack disappeared into the woods. They were gone for 2 days. 2 agonizing days as hours and hours went by. The two's pain grew stronger. Word got back that Apple Bloom had gotten into severe pain too, and been hospitalized at wherever they had been delivering. They could hear Apple Bloom screaming for help in their minds, telling the nurse that medication would not help, that she needed to see her friends. The two fillies had grown more tired and weak, and rushed through the forest, searching and searching for the place, feeling, sensing that they were getting closer to her, their missing piece. They discovered a small town beyond the forest, finding the hospital and rushing inside. Already their pain had gone down increasingly, and their heartbeats slowed. They asked for Apple Bloom's room, and found Applejack pacing outside the door in the clean white hallway of the hospital. Above her, the light flickered, and her face was nervous and pale.
Scootaloo? Sweetie Belle? What are y'all doing here?
Helping Apple Bloom!
Scootaloo cried, forcing the door open and rushing in with Sweetie Belle. The door shut, and the nurse looked up from her clipboard.
I'm sorry, who are you? Friends? Family? You should have told us you were coming to visit.
Friends!
They said at the same time.
Okay, well...
Apple Bloom suddenly sat up, gasping for air and coughing. Her face was covered in blood, and it only smeared when she rubbed her cheek.
Girls!
She was suddenly filled with energy and joy at the sight of her friends. The pain that had been bothering them all day had faded at their close proximity. The nurse gasped.
But how? You were unconscious. You were going to die. I'll get the doctor. Stay here.
She rushed out of the room. She shut the door, and the three friends were left alone together.
Apple Bloom, are you okay?
Sweetie asked. Apple Bloom nodded.
It feels bad. It seems like we had to stay closer than ever now.
She said worriedly.
Over time, it's gotten worse the farther apart we are.
Sweetie said, shaking her head in confusion. She gripped onto a tissue with her magic and brought it to Apple Bloom's face, wiping off the blood. Apple Bloom looked down.
But we can't be together all the time.
We can't.
Scootaloo added.
We won't be able to be with any pony else. If this continues to the point where we can't even be 10 feet apart.
What if...
Sweetie Belle said.
What if I don't want to be with any pony else?
Scootaloo and Apple Bloom looked at each other. Their desires to be together were strong, but they couldn't believe Sweetie Belle. It sounded as if she didn't want to spend time with her own sister.
But I have to become a better flyer. Rainbow Dash is going to help me. I can't skip that.
Tears welled in Scootaloo's eyes, and every pony began to worry.
Alright, this is a good spot for a little break. Let me read the chat. Hey, I'm a fan of the work you do. Nice job on the art. Thank you, Sonic Lover 02. Oh, Terza, you know Sonic Lover? Huh. Wow, that's pretty neat. Alright, let's continue.
Come on, Scootaloo!
Rainbow Dash yelled encouragement, but even though she knew Scootaloo was a weak flyer, she had seemed weaker than normal. Scootaloo's body was tired. She could barely flap her wings. She was separated from her friends. Even though she loved Rainbow Dash, the pony she had looked up to for years, she felt a sudden desire to abandon her. Scootaloo did not want to be here. She felt no care for Rainbow Dash any longer. She did not want Rainbow in her life anymore. She only wanted her friends. She only wanted to fulfill her destiny. That was what her cutie mark whispered to her. That was what it told her. It told her that she hated Rainbow Dash. Scootaloo stopped flapping her wings, bloody tears filling her eyes, as her desire to be with her friends greatened. Her separation from her friends caused her physical and emotional pain, and she lashed out.
I don't need you. You aren't helping me. I will never fly, and I accept that. Just get away from me.
Scootaloo landed and ran toward Sweet Apple Acres, the pain fading slowly as she sensed Apple Bloom and headed toward her.
Apple Bloom, where Where is Sweetie Belle?
Alright. There's one thing I forgot. Here we go. Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
She's with Rarity. I reckon a Sister's Day. But she's been talking to me and doesn't sound too happy to be anywhere near Rarity.
Did they have a fight?
No.
I can hear you two! Get me out of here! Rarity is being annoying! She won't let me be with you girls today!
She doesn't understand us. She never will.
The same happened with Rainbow and I. She wanted to help me. She was only separating us. Do you think they're trying to cause us pain?
Girls, we can't just...
I think they know! I hate Rarity!
Scootaloo arrived at Sweet Apple Acres to find Apple Bloom awaiting her arrival. They hugged, and Apple Bloom asked her to go to the clubhouse. Scootaloo nodded in agreement. She noticed blood dripping down her friend's face, and when she felt her own cheek, she felt warm, sticky blood on her own face. Scared at how common it had become at this point, now it not only came from their faces and sometimes mouths, but now their ears and nostrils too. Apple Bloom and Scootaloo sat in the clubhouse, waiting for Sweetie Belle to come.
Hurry up, Sweetie Belle!
I'm almost there!
Scootaloo looked up at Apple Bloom.
I think we should stay here for a while. When Sweetie gets back, we can stock up on food and get blankets.
Apple Bloom nodded.
We are not leaving the clubhouse for a long while.
Sweetie Belle entered. More blood than all of them combined was on her face, her coat, her hooves.
Sweetie Belle?
Scootaloo asked, as if she couldn't recognize the pony under all the red. Sweetie Belle's breathing was heavy, and her bright green eyes glinted disturbingly rather than her usual cheerful look. Her teeth were grit angrily.
Rarity isn't dead! At least I don't think so.
You heard her?
Apple Bloom asked in surprise.
She would not stop going on and on! Talking and talking! Oh, sweetie! Do look at this gorgeous dress! I've been wanting to punch her in the muzzle for a long time!
That doesn't sound like you.
Scootaloo scooted away from the door and Sweetie.
You know what I said earlier! They know, Scootaloo! They want to cause as much pain to us as possible! They're doing this, girls! Our own families have betrayed us! Tormented us! Why shouldn't we give them a taste of their own medicine?
Scootaloo thought for a moment. It didn't make sense, and yet it did make sense in a way. Another part of her, a small part of her, screamed that it still didn't make sense, but it had to be true. Why else would she have said those things to Rainbow Dash? Sweetie Belle was her friend. Apple Bloom was her friend. They cared about nothing else now. No pony else now. They went into Apple Bloom's home, wandering through the halls close together. Apple Bloom pointed in one room.
I know there are sheets in a closet in here. You girls look in that room for other stuff we might need.
She walked in, and Sweetie and Scootaloo walked down the hall to the other room. But when they stepped in, they heard ringing in their ears and blood spilling out. They covered their ears, pulling them down, running back to Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom lay on the floor, blood flowing from her ears, her mouth, her eyes. Her expression was unfocused, and froth bubbled up her throat, like she was some wild animal. She gulped, standing back and looking at the girls, her eyes bloodshot and teary.
Let's search together.
They eventually grabbed food, blankets, and other things they may need, going into the clubhouse and locking it shut. Dropping everything on the floor, they sighed in unison. Scootaloo closed all the curtains, pointing out that it was already getting late. They laid out 3 blankets and slept on them for the night. Sunlight leaked through the small openings through the curtains, blinding Apple Bloom when her eyes opened. She felt like she had barely slept. She looked at the other girls, looked around the room, barely remembering where she was and the events of yesterday. She rubbed her eyes and yawned, but when she took her hooves away from her eyes, they came back smeared with fresh blood.
But why? We're all in the same room together. This shouldn't be happening.
Apple Bloom looked at her sleeping friends, noticing that they too had blood coming from every opening. They were spread out through the room. Did that mean they had to be closer than ever now? She began to panic. It felt like the walls were closing in on them, pushing them together. She felt claustrophobic. She needed fresh air. She took a deep breath in and unlocked the door quickly, running outside and falling to the bright green grass in pain, gasping for the fresh, sweet morning air. Her ears rang and her vision blurred even as she drank the air in. She could barely feel the 2 sets of hooves on her, picking her up and setting her back down in the clubhouse. Once there, her vision quickly cleared up. The blood stopped flowing out as the 2 young fillies kept their hooves on her.
We can't leave.
Sweetie Belle coughed up bloody phlegm.
We have to stay together. And now... we really can't leave each other's sides.
She sat down, looking at the floor, tears and blood mixing and falling down her face. They all sat down together, looking at one another, holding hooves. Scootaloo looked around the room, and her eye caught on what she was looking for. She gestured, and the other 2 followed rather closer than normal to stand. Sitting atop a box was a shiny knife.
Grabbed it when we were in the kitchen.
Scootaloo said, sliding her hoof across the shiny surface, looking up at them.
I have an idea. We have to stick together, right? What if we each take a piece of us?
She slid the knife over her leg without hesitating. If she felt pain, she wasn't showing it. Maybe leaking so much blood had inured her to it. She sliced off a thin piece of skin, watching a thin trickle of blood down her leg.
And stay together.
She pressed the thin flesh to Apple Bloom's chest, and Apple Bloom held it there. Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle looked at Scootaloo with sudden hope and curiosity, a hunger to finally be free of the pain. Apple Bloom put Scootaloo's flesh on her back, blood dripping down and staining her light coat. She snatched the knife from Scootaloo's hoof and cut her own leg quickly. Too quickly. She cut off a bigger chunk than she meant to. She cringed, trying to contain herself and the fresh pain. She wasn't as brave as Scootaloo had seemed. It showed in her face. It wasn't terrible. They had all gotten so used to pain in general that they hardly felt that anymore. But cutting deep into her own leg still hurt like fire and pierced through the dull throbbing she was used to. She cut off another smaller piece from another leg, this time a hind leg, carefully cutting this time, and handed the knife to Sweetie Belle, who grasped it in her light green magic. Sweetie, almost gracefully, cut off 2 chunks of her own flesh, the first from her leg, the second one she decided to be more creative.
I like doing pretty designs. Maybe I'll just...
She dug the knife into her chest, and the others watched curiously as she cut a crudely shaped heart, meeting the cut where she started. She cried out in pain and joy as she dug it out, leaving a heart-shaped bloody gash in her chest. She gasped, tears and blood pouring down her cheeks, but a smile slowly spreading across her face.
It's a pretty heart.
She choked out between heavy breaths and gasps. Her voice was raspy and pained. She gave the heart to Apple Bloom, who took it hesitantly, but tried to look grateful with a fake smile of her own. Sweetie smiled back. Hers was in no way fake. Scootaloo took the knife to cut off another part of her leg and gave it to Sweetie. They all now had a piece of each other. They continued to stay in the clubhouse. Carrying around each other's flesh had seemed to work well for a day, but no longer after that. They sat together, huddled on the floor, twitching and sobbing from the pain, spasmodically reaching out and grasping each other, whatever they could reach at the time. They had to be touching. Not nearby, not close, not even standing next to each other. Touching, flesh on flesh. They had their hooves pressed together now. The pain was less, but it was still there, still throbbing. Apple Bloom felt that she had endured it the most. The other girls didn't know what she had been through. She had it the worst. At this point, all of them wanted to be together. They no longer cared for their families or any pony else. The only thing that mattered was each other. That little voice that whispered to them that they only needed each other, their cutie marks, to fulfill their destinies, their dreams, their purpose. The voice that made them hide when ponies came looking for them. The voices that made them run from their own flesh and blood. They didn't need their families. They just needed each other. Yet Apple Bloom knew she still felt something for her family, buried deep beneath the voice. Applejack. She wanted her sister, but all she needed was Sweetie and Scootaloo. She just wanted to be happy. They could not be like this forever. They could not stay like this. It wouldn't work. Apple Bloom felt an idea forming in her head. A terrible idea. One that made her sick, but at the same time appealed to her. She found herself eyeing the dried blood-encrusted knife once again. A sparkle returned to her eyes. Not a spark of joy which she had carried originally when the world was fresh and new and full of promise, but a different sparkle. A devious sparkle of hope. Blood stained the floor of the Cutie Mark Crusader clubhouse. A knife emerging from a lifeless white corpse. The body of a young Pegasus nearby, her bright purple eyes dead and cold. All the Cutie Mark Crusaders were gathered here. All their bodies were here, but only one lived. All of them cold and empty, drained of any feeling, any life or rational thought. The Earth Pony dropped the knife. She still felt a burning desire to be close to them. She still felt blood pouring from every opening as she stepped away. She still felt the dull, throbbing pain. Her ears rang and her vision blurred. She could barely walk from the deep cuts in her legs, but what she could see were the stallions on the train tracks, the colors of what she recognized as the train. A loud whistle screamed in her ears, not only the scream of the train, but the screams of her friends, who were now beyond the grave. Yet they still screamed in her mind, speaking to her, begging with her, pleading, screaming in agony and pain, asking why she had killed them. They now lived within her head. They were forever connected, and it would stay that way even after death. Nothing could separate them. Their cutie marks had decreed it so. They had journeyed and tried so hard for so many years, working toward their goal to discover their destinies. But in the end, those destinies, their own achievements, had killed them, slowly destroying them, ripping them apart while keeping them together. The walls closed in on them until one of them inevitably snapped, unable to handle the torture further. That young mare's gaze left the track, and she looked up slowly to smile and greet the bright light of the oncoming train.
So that was Can't Stand to Be Apart. my favorite My Little Pony Grimdark story. I'm a little squeamish. I'm sorry to hear that, Terza. Grimdark stories aren't for everybody. I understand that. I mean, they used to freak me out the first time I listened to them, too. You just get used to them. Anyway, yeah. Alright. You just get used to them. Oh, let's make her gem the ear. Make it the ear. Make it look like she's listening to music, but it's actually her gem because, you know, headphones and stuff. Duh. Oh my gosh, that ended violently. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not really too happy about the ending either. I mean, there are so many things that the Cutie Mark Crusaders could have done in order to, like, I don't know, do something about it. I mean, I even commented on it that they should have gone to Twilight and asked for help with that. Like, I mean, if they were feeling pain like that whenever they were apart, and if it was because of their cutie marks, then they should have gone to Twilight. I'm sure she would have helped. You know? But that's just how people are in horror situations. They're dumb. They don't think rationally. They don't think rationally. They don't think rationally. They're dumb. They don't think rationally. Alright. Yeah, I do prefer happy endings. Yes. What do you think of Jim Carrey as Eggman, and what do you think are his best moments? I don't know. I'm not really too much of a Sonic fan, and I'm not planning on watching the movie either. And actually, if we're being honest, so many of you are going to get triggered by this, but I actually didn't really have a problem with the first design of Sonic for the movie. I didn't really have a problem with it. I mean, I do like the redesign better, but I personally didn't have a problem with it, probably because I didn't really care about the movie. But whatever, that's just my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. Alright, so how's about we, go away from Grimdark readings and do some, listen to some happy music. All right. Okay. Let's see. My DA is Carla Lockwood Shane. Yes, I know that. What kind of music do you like? Oh, I like a lot of music. I like this music, no copyright music. I also like certain bands like Maroon 5 and Skillet. And, I also like certain songwriters like Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, and some country singers like Brett Young, Keith Urban, and stuff like that. My fave Skillet. Skillet is awesome. I like Skillet too. Okay, cool. Alright, here we go.
With Grammarly, you can find really good,
Dang it, ads.
perfect words that make your writing sharp or explicit.
Not the ads again. Yeah, thank you. Man, we have so much in common, Alex. Thank you. Let's see what else Vexento has for us. Around the Fire? I never heard this one. Let's hear it. Okay, not bad. Okay, that wasn't bad. I liked that. Where we belong? What's this? Is she one of... Alright, perfect. You should use this song in a speed paint video. I like that song. Yeah, maybe. I just gotta find a way to download it. Masked Heroes, okay.
Retweet, share, like, swipe. I won't have time for that. In 20...
Adds a lot on the stream. Alright. Now this next song. If you guys are familiar with the A Hat in Time OST track of Rush Hour from Yakuza Metro, and if you didn't think it could get any more fire, then listen to this remix right here.
Kira is into problem solving.
After this
Zach
ad!
is into exploring. Grammarly is into helping them work together.
Here we go. Okay, yeah. Wasn't that cool or what? Now, let's listen to some DA games.
Tyler, with Grammarly's help, is trying to impress his boss. After that time he told her,
I'm a suppository of information.
Show, get your gun at the ready, get set to blow. Turn the tables on the shadows. Turn the tables on the shadows. One shot to the devil that is in the skies. Let's get this whole down started. You're the start of a massacre. I am the showdown bandit. Why keep me locked in a box? I am the showdown bandit. Why keep me tied in the locks? I am the showdown bandit. Take the valley, the uncanny swarm the spiders there become victorious and notorious. For you see before the show there's someone on the end making this laborious. But it's alright, keep your strings together. Hold down my fort forever. They crawl but we're defenders. This ain't a Motown show. Get your gun at the ready, get set to blow. Turn the tables on the shadows. Turn the tables on the shadows. One shot to the devil that is in disguise. Let's get this whole down started. You're the start of a massacre. I am a showdown bandit. Got a gun, blow me down. Keep me locked in the box. I am the showdown bandit. Got a gun, blow me down. Keep me tied in the locks. I am the showdown. Oh, patch me up stronger and keep me up longer than before. Step inside, I am the showdown bandit. And how do we care the devil to where you arrive? Step inside, or I'm a showdown bandit. Turn the tables on the shadows. Those hands were meant to control, not for the show.
Actually, before this starts, let's take a look at the chats. What is your favorite DA Games song? I think it has to be his newest Five Nights at Freddy's song, We Want Out. That one is really good. I'm actually planning on using it in speed paint that I'm going to be doing this year. Anyway, yeah, let's continue.
place for the broken and the light. Am I hurting? Am I sad? Should I stay or should I go? I've forgotten how to tell. Did I ever even know? This time you're not hurting me. This time I will take a stand. All the hatred in my eyes building up beneath the clouds. Shining lonely in the night with the darkness by my side. Looking deep inside myself, never feeling only pride. If I make another move, if I take another step, then it all would fall apart. There'd be nothing of me left. If I'm crying in the wind, if I'm crying in the night, will there ever be a way? Will my heart return to bright? Can you tell me who you are? Can you tell me where I am? I've forgotten how to see. I've forgotten if I can. If I open up my eyes, there ain't no more going back. 'Cause I threw it all away and it all would fade to black. So I'll thank you once again. So I'll thank you once again. Can I ever make a change? Will my heart begin to mend? Would you love me if I go? If it feels like a heart attack, but till everything's the same and it all just fades to black.
Alright. I'm almost done. I don't think I'm going to have, like... Alright. They're finished. Will you make an AU version of Super Smash Bros? I actually thought about making one of the Subspace Emissary from Smash Bros. Brawl for, a long time ago, but I ultimately gave up on that idea. Now Super Smash Bros. Is now a game in my friendship AUs, so not all is lost. Good news, I heard that Kappa has failed. Really now? That's great. I'm glad, I guess. But just in case, I'm still gonna keep some of those videos that I have private. Just in case. Alright. Now, let's finish this. Alright. Here are some Steven Universe Minecraft adoptables. We've got Ender Pearl and Nether Quartz. And they're each going to be 150 points. You're more than welcome to take them. You just have to pay the points. And just as a heads up, these people are not going to appear in the AUs, so they're all yours. You can take them, free of charge. Actually, not free of charge, you gotta pay the points. I have no idea what I'm saying. Thing is, I'm going to post these on my DeviantArt, and they're first come, first serve. So you have a chance to own one of these two lovely ladies all for yourself. Curse the fact I'm broke. Oh, I'm sorry, Spiny Boy Nation. I mean, if they're not taken, I can lower the price or something. But thing is, yes, these are the adoptables. Alright, and with that being said, I think I'm gonna end off the stream there. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. This has to be the most successful stream I've had so far. Thank you all so much. And I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. 2019 has really been a wild ride for me. Oh, actually, before I end off the stream, I should also say that this year, unfortunately, I'm not going to be making any new AUs. Or continuing with the AUs that I already have. I'm thinking I could, take a break from actually, making these... Wait, no, don't go yet! Anyway, yeah. Making... adding on to the AUs, really. But what I will be doing is that I will be making some origin speed paints for each and every one of the AUs that I have. And I just want to say that they are a little bit different from what the canon ones are like. But, in other words, yes, origin speed paints. Expect one origin speed paint for each and every month. Each and every one of the coming months in 2020, and expect them to be awesome. Anyway, yes, thank you all so much for watching the stream. Hope you all had a happy new year, and I will see you all next time. This is Alex918 signing off. Thanks again, and happy new year.